Stop scrolling for a second, because what you're about to hear might just restore your faith in humanity. The narrator's voice trembles slightly, drawing the viewers in. It all began when a single dad named Jack stopped on a lonely highway one rainy night, and changed not just one life, but an entire town forever. If you believe kindness still matters, then stay with me till the end, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe, because this story will touch your heart. Jack Miller, a single father and Army veteran, was used to long nights. His little daughter Emily, only 7, often fell asleep in the backseat of his old pickup as he worked extra shifts delivering supplies to small towns. Life hadn't been easy since his wife passed away 3 years earlier. Jack was a man of few words but full of quiet strength, the kind that life and war had forged through years of pain and loss. That night, as the rain poured relentlessly and the road twisted through the forest, Jack noticed flashing hazard lights up ahead. Instinctively, he slowed down and pulled over. Through the blur of rain, he saw a woman in a torn army jacket trying desperately to change a flat tire while 2 little girls, twins, maybe 6 years old, sat shivering inside the car. Jack grabbed his flashlight and ran toward them. "Hey, need some help?" he called out. The woman spun around, startled, her hand instinctively going to her side, clearly trained. Then Jack noticed the blood. She was wounded. "I'm fine," she said through gritted teeth, but her leg told a different story. Blood seeped through the makeshift bandage on her thigh. "Ma'am," Jack said gently, kneeling beside her, "I'm a veteran too. Let me help before you pass out." The twins peeked from the window, whispering, "Mommy's hurt." Jack's heart clenched. He quickly fixed the tire, then helped her into his truck, wrapping her leg with his field bandage. The kids clung to their mother, while Jack drove them to his small cabin just outside town. He called his old medic friend, who came to stitch the wound quietly, no questions asked. By morning, Jack learned her name was Sergeant Maria Lawson, recently discharged after an explosion overseas. She'd been trying to reach her hometown to start over with her daughters but had run out of money and luck. Jack offered her coffee and eggs as his daughter Emily shared her crayons with the twins. Laughter filled the kitchen, something Jack hadn't heard in a long time. "Thank you," Maria said softly, her eyes moist. "You didn't have to do this." Jack smiled faintly. "No soldier gets left behind. Not on my watch." The days that followed, Maria recovered slowly, staying in the spare room with her girls. She helped around the house, and for the first time since his wife's death, Jack's home felt alive again. The girls played together, painting little rainbows on the porch. But the truth came out soon. Maria had been denied her benefits due to paperwork errors, leaving her stranded. Worse, the place she was heading to, her old family farm, had been repossessed. Jack could have walked away, but he didn't. He gathered the local veterans, men and women who'd served and struggled just like him. Together, they started repairing the farm. They cleaned, painted, and restored it, using what little money they had. When Maria saw what they were doing, she broke down. "Why are you doing all this for me?" she cried. Jack simply replied, "Because someday, someone did it for me. Now it's my turn." That night, word spread across the small town. Neighbors joined in, carpenters, farmers, even school kids came to help. Within a week, the old Lawson farm stood proudly again, a home reborn from ashes. But what none of them expected was what happened next. The very next morning, just as the sun rose, a convoy of 20 military trucks rolled down the dusty road toward the farm. Jack and Maria stood frozen. From the lead vehicle stepped out a tall man in uniform, General Harlan, the commanding officer of Maria's old unit. His eyes were stern, but when he saw her, they softened. "Sergeant Lawson," he said firmly, saluting her. "We received word about your situation. The Army owes you better." He turned toward Jack. "And you, sir, your actions reached the Department of Veterans Affairs and the Pentagon itself." Jack looked bewildered. "I was just doing what's right, General." The general nodded. "Sometimes that's exactly what changes lives." He gestured toward the trucks. "These contain supplies, furniture, and tools to rebuild this entire property into a Veterans Family Resource Center. In your honor, Sergeant Lawson, and yours, Mr. Miller. Funded by the U.S. Army Relief Initiative." Maria covered her mouth, tears spilling down her face. Jack stood speechless as soldiers began unloading crates, beds, food, clothes, toys, and building materials. The twins ran to their mother, squealing with joy, while Emily held Jack's hand, whispering, "Daddy, we helped them, didn't we?" He smiled down at her. "Yeah, sweetheart, we did." Months later, the farm was transformed into a safe haven for veterans and single parents. Jack became the center's manager, and Maria worked as a counselor for soldiers adjusting to civilian life. Together, they built something bigger than themselves, a place of healing, hope, and family. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the hills, Jack sat on the porch watching the kids chase fireflies. Maria joined him, her voice soft. "You ever think, maybe we were meant to find each other that night?" Jack looked at her, smiling. Maybe fate just needed a little help. The camera zooms out slowly, fading into the golden horizon as the narrator's voice returns, calm, emotional, sincere. And that's why we tell stories like these, because one act of kindness can start a chain reaction that heals hearts and changes lives. If you believe the world still has good people like Jack and Maria, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this story, because hope deserves to be heard.